Hey, praise the Lord, y'all. I thought I'd talk about Black History Month and what, how Jehovah Witnesses, that cult, how that religion mistreat blacks within the organization, and how um, it's um, it's abusive to the black family. You know, just just people of color. Period. People of color. First, you got the governing body, and there's only one token black guy that's in the governing body. Heard, heard, you know, and when you see their WJW website, and you see them online, or you view their videos, you you'll see how they misrepresent people of color. You know, and how they don't allow blacks to get education. They don't allow them to go to college like they should. I mean, go all the way up to the top. Get as much education as you can, as you want, you know, as your heart desire, you know. But I'm gonna talk about that since it's Black History Month, and the history of the Jehovah Witness organization as it relates to blacks, and what they thought of people of color when the organization got started. Okay. I'm gonna look it up right now as I'm talking to you. I'm gonna talk about my personal experience first, and then I'll talk about the research about blacks and how they treat people. You know, starting with my father, starting with my parents. You know, I remember when my mother had her hair braided up, and she had her hair look like a queen. She had it braided up in like a crown. It was circled around the top part, and she had these gold. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was very Afrocentric. It looked like Cicely Tyson. That's what it looked like. It looked good. Wasn't nothing wrong with it. You know what they made her do? Them elders in her congregation, probably black people, black elders, men, made her take her braids out the next day. And it took her hours. It took her a lot of money too to get her hair done like that. And my father, with his Well, my father didn't speak up as his say that's my wife, and my wife paid that money, and no, she ain't taking them braids out. You know, she let her wear them braids until they wear out. You know, and you got a problem with it, or your wives had problems, or the eldest wives had problems with my wife wearing her hair according to her culture, her black culture, then I'm sorry. I don't want no part of this congregation, and I don't want no part of this church. But no. So that was one example. Then another example, my father, I remember when my father's sister did his hair and straightened his hair out like Billy D. Williams, right? And it looked good because she ain't permanent enough. That was his natural hair. Again, you know what they made him do? They made him wash his hair out and cut his hair. You know, and it wasn't. It didn't look like mahogany, Billy D. Williams in mahogany. It wasn't like way out. It wasn't out, but it was just it brought out his natural good hair. You know, his natural green. And then being that my father like Indian come complexion, you know. And I think them elders and them people in that congregation in Windsor, it was Windsor, Baltimore, Windsor congregation back in the 70s. You know, jealous. You know, saying he was small built. You know, he was athletic and small, but you know, he nice looking man. My father, you know, nice looking, and my mother looked good too. You know, all that because ain't that like how whites do? That's how white people do. They make you conform to their way of dress, conform to their culture on jobs and different organizations, their organizations, you know. So that's their way of stripping. That's the Jehovah Witness organization way of stripping down your individuality, the way you thinking, you know, brainwashing you. That's their way of brainwashing you within the church because they have local congregations that's mostly the local congregations that's in the urban areas, they mostly black. So the ones I grew up in, you hardly saw a white person in the congregation. I rarely seen it. I rarely seen it. Growing up in it from the 70s to now. Now, after I got this fellowship, I've been in this fellowship since I was 18, but I went to visit. This was before COVID. I went to visit Central Congregation at the Upton Station, a subway station, and they had a white guy give a talk, and I was surprised to see that. I was like, "Who's this?" You know. Then my father took me to the subway, and he said, "Yeah." I asked Dad, when was the last time they had somebody white in their congregation? And he said, "Yeah, years ago." He said some date, but it was many. He was like many years ago, and I'm thinking the whole time, you know, that should be a wake up call, to my father as to why it don't be interracial, why it's not a mixed congregation. After all these years, you got the same people, the same old black people in central congregation, and there's no growth. Why is that, Dad? Why? Why? You know. But anyway, back to um, back to what I experienced about the about what they do, the black um um what they do within the what I seen them do when I was growing up. You know, I seen them within the congregation. It's like divide and conquer kind of thing. You got the elders competing against each other. You got the old, you got the ministerial servants. That's the equivalent of a deacon in the church, and the elders is the equivalent of a pastor in the church. So you got a lot of competition. It's bad enough as it is that they don't allow these black men to get their education, to get higher education, to become a elder. So you got these people, these men competing against each other, and they get ambitious, and then when they had problems within their families or something like that, you know, the elders or the brothers that's jealous of the ones that's trying to get promoted or whatever, and when they have problems in their family, they'll talk in them. That's like how in college, you got the hazing in the college. It's the same thing within the organization, within a Jehovah Witness organization. It's the same, the same thing. You know, they will make an example out of that family and make an example out of the children of the elder, the elder or the wife or whoever that's related to that elder that they don't like. You know, to try to demote them or degrade them. You know, make them feel little, you know, belittle them, you know, belittle them so that they so-called uh, 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 do what the organization, do what the governing body tell them to do. That's a cover-up. That's a whole cover. That mess about do what the governing body say, do what the faithful and discreet slave class say. All that is just a cover up for abuse. That's all that is. Is mental, spiritual abuse, and emotional abuse to the to the black man. That's what it is. To the black man. You know, they pick them when they young. Like in my father's case, my father got baptized as he told me he got baptized at 17 years old. That's too young to make a life decision like that in a cult. Come on here. That's too young. My mother got baptized at 14. That's too young. So for him to be in that since he was 17 years old, baptized in that's not like a Baptist church or any other church where you get baptized and that's separate. Your baptism and your relationship with God is separate from the organizational aspect of the church. You know, the man-made doctrine of the church. That's separate. You know, but in Jehovah's Witness cult, it's one and the same. If you get baptized and you don't believe in the organizational aspect of it, or you don't believe in their doctrines, then they kick you out. Ain't always saying it. So my father. So that's another way of putting black people down. That's what it is. You know, this ain't Christianity. This not no Christian church. Jehovah's Witness cult is not a Christian religion. It's not a Christ-like religion. No, it's not. It's not based on the teachings of Jesus Christ. No, it's not. You know, so so when I was growing up, I seen my father, he didn't get his GED till late in life. My father wasn't educated. My mom got her high school diploma and all that, and went to nursing school, graduated from nursing school. You know, mother got her LPN, you know, license and all that. And growing up in it, you know, and seeing my father wanting to be an elder for so many years and seeing him being degraded and him not talking up, and then coming home to a wife, you know, to my mom, a wife that was also being devalued, you know. My mother was being devalued as a Jehovah's Witness too, you know. So, and at home, that ruined their marriage. Being a Jehovah's Witness messed their marriage up because every time they had marital problems, they go running to the elders. They'll go to the elders about it. Instead of praying to God about it and working it out on their own. And ain't that's how ain't that's how white people do. Not only did they strip us of our culture as a people, but they the ones that start all that having sex with animals and all that wild stuff, porn, having sex with your children, all that wild stuff, Black people didn't do that stuff. Black people over in Africa didn't have no sex with no animals and have sex with each other. They ain't do that. Have sex with their babies and do all kind of wild things. It wasn't in our nature to do it. Not only did, my parents, a lot of people knew that my parents wasn't meant to be together, but they got married and stuff, and with the situation, it was like a gun, it was an arranged marriage, and got married real young. But I always thought that being in that religion didn't help any. Whatever ounce of love that they did have, that cult beat it out of them. Whipped it out of them. And another thing, having children, it's best not to have any children. As long as you in that cult, if you have children within that cult, if you have any kids within that cult, then that's child abuse. Let's keep that real. Now if you had kids before you got baptized and you got into the religion, and you brought your children into the religion, then hey, I don't hold you accountable. But if you have any children in the religion, and you being spiritually abused, and that's that cult is splitting the black man from the wife, from the woman. They gonna abuse your children too. That cult is gonna abuse your kids. So it's wise not to have any children. Just like, how the black man, was divided by the whites, and they raped our women and they sold the babies, split the family all up. It's the same thing in the Jehovah's Witness organization. It's the same daggone thing. They will split. They will when you have children in the organization, they use it as a marketing tool. They'll just use your children to promote the organization. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about your family or your children. They'll use it. Oh, look at that black family going out there giving away our watchtowers, selling our watchtowers. Look at that. Look at our child. Look at that family up there giving talks. Doing what we tell them to do. Meanwhile, the faithful, the governing body up in New York, they up in New York living off the hub, living good. Bunch of white people. And one token, back then it wasn't no black man, wasn't no Hurd, Samuel Hurd. Back in the 70s, in the 80s, when I was growing up. Back then, the governing body was anonymous. You ain't seen them. You ain't know what they look like. You ain't know what they look. They had a picture in the wasn't no video of them. Let's put it like that. It wasn't no video. It wasn't like it is now. Nothing like it is now. So they'll start working on the children. So if the kids, so they work on the father, then they work on the parent, then they work on the kids. Oh, the kids can't, you celebrate the holiday, can't celebrate the birthday, didn't celebrate the birthday. The kids gotta be brainwashed. The kids gotta dress a certain way. The kids can't be Afrocentric. The kids can't have their braids certain way. Like when I was growing up, my mother did my hair, braided my hair up, and they didn't target me. They didn't make me, my mother take my braids out. They didn't do that. But what they did do was when I was, they targeted me in other ways as far as schooling. Growing up in elementary school and middle school, so, and that's a shame because that messes up your self-esteem, growing up. Okay, so I just looked this up, okay. Jehovah Witness in black skin. Okay, and I'm gonna read this. I'll put the link in this description box. It say facts about Jehovah. It's under JW Facts. Black skin Negroes and mixed races. It say despite the end of slavery in America in 1865, the 1800s were a time of significant prejudice and inequality against African Americans. It was during this time that religions such as the Watchtower Society and the Mormons were formed. This had an impact on some of the early views and teachings regarding black people and mixed races. For example, it was explained in a 1904 Watchtower that in the new system, the skin of black people could turn white. Viewing the quotes chronologically reveals that in more recent decades, The Watchtower promotes racial equality. The first black governing member was appointed in 1999. Though in 2019 Samuel Hurd was still the only black brother on the governing body, and there has been no Asian representation. So I'm gonna put the link to this, and it has the watchtowers all the way back. I'm gonna put this in the description for y'all. But anyway, so ain't that something? They actually thought that black people would turn white. Their skin would turn white. What the hell they think it was? Michael Jackson. Come on now. What they think it was? You know? We ain't had no skin disorder, nothing like that. We ain't want no, you know. But anyway. So that's how it was. That's how it was. That's the truth about the organization, you know, and their history. And that's the way it is now. You know, they only got one black person in the governing body. Just one. My father was 73 years old. My father be 74 December. And he ain't out of it now. You know. His mind, he might want to get out of it now, which I know he do, you know. But something like this facts like this should wake him up, you know. So he's like that house nigga that don't want to leave the plantation. Said, you know, I invested too much in the organization, and I want to get out, but you know, this is my family. You know, the organization is like being in a game. He was in it since he was 17, so that's his way of belonging. That's how he feel like he could belong. Not to say, even though he know that they disrespect him as a black man, he don't care. He just gonna stay in it. Even though my grandmother died in it, my grandmother dead and gone. And he still an elder. I would tell them bye, you know. But his mindset is, you know, this is all I know. These white people been good to me. The organization been good to me, you know. And I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna die on the plantation. I'm gonna die on the as a member of Jehovah Witness. you know. So, you know, and my father came here. My father came here to visit me. Well, I can't say visit me because he don't never. My father don't visit me. He don't give a rat's tail about me. You know, that time when he came to pick him and my sister came to pick up my daughter India, and he looking at me all crazy, looking at me, you know, staring at me, and hug my daughter at the hug my daughter at the front of the my apartment door, had the door wide open, you know, you know, hugging my daughter for a long time, and my sister, oh yeah, that you know, that you know. And he looking at the step, just looking, not saying nothing. You know, you know. And when you think about that, and think about how to this day he don't talk up, you know, he probably think in the back of his mind, my daughter is free. My daughter, Crystal, is really out of the organization. Yeah, she disfellowship, but she's free. You know, yeah, she has 6 kids and everything. And my father can throw all the stones he want to, but deep down in his heart and in his his black mind, you know, my father wished he had the balls or wish he was out of the organization like I am. You know, he wished he had his own crib instead of living with my aunt. You know, he lived with my aunt, you know, and he never had his own crib. Never. Like never, ever, ever, ever. So when he saw me a couple of years ago, you know, and picked my daughter, picked India up from here, you know, and kept looking, you know, thinking back then I was pissed, you know, I was pissed, but thinking back now, looking at the situation, now, that's like the house nigga taking back down, and you see the field nigga going out there and say, "Come on," like Malcolm X speech. Come on, come on, let's go. Let's leave the planet. Let's leave the house. Let's leave. You know. So him seeing me free and with my own stuff, you know, he out there thinking, damn, I'm 70-some years old, and I don't have my own. I'm still doing whatever the white man tell me to do. You know, I'm still not a man. I'm not a man. You know. So I thought I'd drop that with y'all, you know, for the, you know, it's Black History Month and everything, you know. And to be honest, you got that in a lot of other religions, you know. You know, it ain't just Jehovah Witness. That's why it's important when you get out of a cult like that, don't jump from one bad religion to another. Don't be so easy to join Don't be so quick to join another church or to join another organized religion. Don't be, so quick to join a Christian church, a Christian church. Start to have a relationship with God on your own. Get out of the organized religion and start to have a relationship with Jesus on your own. And trust me, the Holy Spirit will lead you the right way. The Holy Spirit will lead you into all truth, will lead you on the right path. Let me get off of here. I thought I'd share that with y'all. And I'll put the link to the link about it's jwfacts.com. It's jwfacts.com /watchtower /quotes /black.skin.php. That's the link right there. I just said the link. But I'm going to put the link on the description for y'all. I can read one Watchtower quote. It say, I'll read one. Watchtower 1900, April 15, page 122. That's one Watchtower. There's another one, Watchtower 1901, August 15, pages 264 to 266. Okay. Now, I bet you if you contact the society, they probably got this stuff hidden where don't nobody know. Watchtower, 1902, July 15. The Negro Not a Beast. Paragraph, pages 215 to 216. So I'm not gonna read. I'm just gonna tell you the Watchtowers that they got. Watchtower 1904, February 15, pages 52 to 53. So there's a lot of history, There's a lot of Watchtower history that they don't want you, that they not publish, that they don't want blacks to know now. Yep. And you don't want blacks to know. I got my Black History shirt on. Y'all see? Black History 365. Y'all probably seen this before. Never forget. See? Y'all seen this. I wore this shirt. I wore this before. I'll put the link to this this shirt from Artistic Tees on this description too. Yep. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I put it on the squish. I gotta put some chapstick on. Oh boy. and some chapstick. Okay, I'll get off of here. It's almost time for the prayer call. Yeah, I'll put that on the prayer call. It's almost seven in the morning here. And I'll put that on the prayer. I'll put this um I'll put the prayer call um on it if I feel led to. Sometimes lately I've been making it on my um recording on the laptop and everything, but sometimes some of the stuff that the pastor be saying, I don't put it on my YouTube because I don't feel led to put it on there. Some things I think it's just for me, the Lord want me to listen to. And some things I'll share and put it on my YouTube page. But some stuff I delete, and I say, okay. And then some stuff I'll put on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Okay. Love y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. And have a good um have a good day. And every day is Black History. Every day is you supposed to love your blackness and your uniqueness as a black person. You know, that's right. Not just 1 month. You know, not the shortest month of the damn year, February. You know, not just 1 month. Okay, love y'all. Talk to y'all later. God bless.